You know, for over 2 decades, one of the biggest, most epic stories ever told has been sailing toward a single, secret destination. A treasure so massive, it kicked off an entire global age of piracy. It is, of course, the ultimate mystery, the namesake of the whole saga, the One Piece.
But here's the crazy part. After thousands of chapters, thousands of episodes, the question still hangs over everything. What is it? Is it a mountain of gold? Some kind of world-ending weapon? Well, according to some of the most dedicated fans out there, the truth is something way, way grander. And honestly, a lot more fun.
So, to get our heads around this, we need a bit of a roadmap. First, we'll unpack the mystery itself. Then, we gotta look at the broken state of the One Piece world. And from there, we'll dive into 3 of the biggest theories that, you'll see, all point to one incredible final answer.
Okay, so to understand the treasure, we have to start with the man who actually found it, Gold Roger, the king of the pirates. He did it. He reached the final island. He found the treasure, and then he said he was too early. Now that one little fact, that's the key to everything. It wasn't about being strong enough, it was about being there at the right time.
And what was his crew's reaction when they finally laid eyes on it? I mean, think about it. Did they gasp at piles of gold? Did they tremble before some ultimate power? No. They laughed. They laughed so hard they actually named the island Laugh-Tale. That tells us everything, right? The One Piece isn't just valuable. It's gotta be joyous, probably ironic, and maybe even a little bit silly.
So, to get the punchline of this giant, world-spanning joke, we have to understand the setup. And the setup is the world itself, a world that is fundamentally and very deliberately broken. You see, the world is literally carved into pieces. There's this massive, impassable continent called the Red Line that wraps around the entire globe, separating the 4 seas. Now, this isn't just a geographical quirk, it's a tool of control. It keeps people isolated, it stirs up conflict, and it lets the corrupt world government sit right on top of it all. So the dream, the ultimate dream, is to make the world whole, to have one single unified ocean, One Piece.
And this right here leads us to the most popular, most foundational theory of them all. The One Piece isn't something you just find in a treasure chest. It's more like an inheritance, a plan, a dream that you have to make real. The ultimate treasure is the act of creating a free world.
So the theory goes a little something like this. Laugh-Tale doesn't contain the treasure, it contains the recipe for it. It holds the true history of the world and the instructions on how to use the 3 ancient weapons. And get this, not to conquer the world, but to remake it. To literally destroy the Red Line, causing all 4 seas to crash together into one massive ocean. And this is why the theory is so perfect. This one single, world-shattering event would instantly fulfill the personal dreams of almost the entire Straw Hat crew. Sanji would get his All Blue, that mythical sea where fish from all 4 oceans swim together. Nami could finally draw a real map of the whole world. Brook could finally reunite with his whale friend Laboon. It all clicks so perfectly into place.
Okay, but why? Why would someone 800 years ago create a plan to destroy a whole continent? Well, the answer isn't about power or conquest. It's about a really heartbreaking story and a promise that was broken.
So, piecing together all the clues from the story, fans believe that the treasure on Laugh-Tale is the tale of Joy Boy. He was this legendary warrior, this sun god Nika, who made promises he just couldn't keep. He promised the fishmen they'd get to live on the surface, and he promised a giant friend he'd see him again. But then some world-changing event, maybe the creation of the Red Line itself, made that impossible. So he came up with a plan to tear down that wall. But he was betrayed, his story was erased from history, and his dream was left waiting for someone else to pick it up.
You know, as one fan, Yanandano, put it on Reddit, it really boils down to that classic trope, Joy Boy's real treasure was his friends, and this whole epic, world-changing plan was born from the simple desire to see his friend again. Yeah, it's a little cliche, but man, it just fits the heart of One Piece perfectly.
And this inherited mission, this unfinished dream, connects directly to the series' other huge mystery, the initial D. We see it in the names of huge characters like Luffy, Roger, and even some of their biggest enemies.
So, what if the D isn't just a name? What if it's not about bloodline? A really popular theory suggests it stands for dreams. The will of D is the inherited will to chase an impossible dream. That dream of a free, united world that Joy Boy started all those years ago. It's not about family. It's an idea you carry with you.
And there's one really creative theory that takes it even further, connecting the D-bearers and their ultimate enemy, Imu, to the 4 classical elements. You've got dragon as air, rocks as earth, ace as fire, and the shadowy ruler Imu as water, which, of course, is the natural enemy of every devil fruit user. It kind of suggests this big, cosmic battle for the very fate of the world.
Okay, so let's bring all these incredible pieces together. If all this is true, what did Roger actually find, and what is Luffy destined to do?
The One Piece isn't just one thing. It's like a package deal. It's the story of Joy Boy's failure. It's the blueprint of his plan to reunite the world. And it's the inherited dream, the will of D, to finally see it through.
And that's why Roger laughed. That's why he was too early. He found the story and the plan, but he couldn't actually do it. The ancient weapons weren't ready yet. Poseidon, the mermaid princess Shirahoshi, hadn't even been born. And while Roger was a king, he wasn't the prophesied warrior, the sun god Nika, who was needed to pull it all together.
But Luffy is. He has shown up at the exact right moment in history. The weapons are coming into play, he's got friends and allies in every corner of the globe, and most importantly, he has literally inherited the power and the will of Joy Boy himself. Roger kicked off this whole era just to find this person, and Luffy is the answer.
And that just leaves us with one last incredible thought. This story isn't just about finding a treasure. It's about a boy whose very power is to turn his own imagination into reality, finally reaching a dream that's been asleep for 800 years. What happens to the world when a dream that big is finally set free? That's what Roger laughed about. And that is why the end of this journey is going to change absolutely everything.